This is Danielle Channels Planets, and today is Monday, May 11th, and it's Moonday. Today on Moonday, the moon is in a trine with Jupiter, which can bring definitely some big emotions. It's going to heighten our subjective inner world, and we're going to need to tend to what makes us feel safe and at home today, as our emotions might feel a bit at sea, especially with moon in Pisces. So I'm thinking the emotions can run from positive to negative, healthy to unhealthy. There's a full spectrum. Whatever it may be, they're just running big today. And they also might be a little bit unpredictable or a bit all over the place in terms of at one moment we're feeling this way, at one moment we're feeling this way, at one moment we're feeling this way. And so if you feel like you're getting identified with any of them, just know that this will pass. And from my point of view, I think that we are doing a lot of emotional clearing this week before we get to the new moon on Saturday. And so, if we can allow ourselves to feel and make space to feel and take time to do that, I think this weekend's going to be a nice, big, happy surprise. And so, Jupiter is expansive and really pronouncing our emotions today. And then the moon is going to move to meet up with Saturn tomorrow, and then Mars and Chiron later in the week before it gets to the new moon. So there's definitely going to be some bumps and hurdles along the way. But I think it's going to be really rewarding once we get to the weekend if we can take care of ourselves and try to get some sleep, try to drink water, try to get some rest, even if we don't want to. That could really have a good payoff by the weekend. The moon is also talking to Venus, and so there's a little bit of constriction relationships. The moon is in a sextile aspect with the Sun, Mercury, Uranus, and so there's already some kind of conversation going around about what these changes might be that are unfolding. I think we're feeling into a new kind of creative expression that's coming forth as the Sun gets close to Uranus. And as Mercury approaches to join up, we're thinking about change, we're thinking about our creativity, we're thinking about our authentic selves. And Uranus and Gemini is literally disrupting our lives, thrusting us into this new change. Uranus in a trine with Pluto, which is going on through 2026, but also until 2028, off and on. So these creative changes that are marked by Uranus's new ingress into Gemini, we're really going to get a taste of that this week as the Sun and Mercury move closer and closer to Uranus, and as the moon comes to meet up with that. This new moon is really about like this new kind of authentic creative expression. And with the Sun in Taurus and Mercury in Taurus, it might actually be like a material way of being, like whether it's how you dress or how you look or how you style yourself or colors that you wear or how you express your values that can actually be seen. And I think that this week is about a lot of emotional clearing around that self expression and making space for it. It's not necessarily going to come through right away because new moons do plant seeds. And this week is really kind of more of a feeling and an emptying out. So anything that's coming up that might be challenging or struggling or frustrating or just know that is part of the change that we're meant to go through. We have Mars conjunct Chiron, which has been going on for some time and will continue through most of the rest of May. And Mars Chiron is telling us that the way through us going into action and us creating this change is through the wound. And we can't assert ourselves or show up in what we're trying to do to become ourselves without feeling this wound and taking care of this wound. So whether that's deep shame or a feeling of abandonment or maybe deep loneliness that's coming up, maybe your sense of autonomy, this can take on many different forms. It could be a physical wound, it can be a disability, it could be a mental disability, it could be just some core beliefs that go back to childhood, with it being in Aries. So with all of that, if that's coming up and there's just like this frustration and anger that is present, I think that is our doorway. And so as we work with those feelings and as we take care of those and work on our attitude towards allowing these feelings to be there, or these sensations in our bodies and these experiences that we have around our wound, that is setting us up to move forward with whatever change that we have coming forward. We might have recently made some big sacrifices or big life changes, whether a job or a relationship or a shift, and it probably has brought up some kind of vulnerability. Feeling like, what is this all for? Like, I'm not going to be worth anything. Like, I don't have anything to offer. And so, as we need to work through that wound in order to move forward, we need to um, hopefully the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter aspect that is occurring is helping us this week tap into a sense of self again. That is that inner, calm, courageous, and confident voice within us that says, yes, you can. We can do this. We're going to get through it. It's going to be okay. It's worth living for. We'll make it through. And those kinds of reassuring messages that come from the core of self energy that we all have, or if you like to call it God or the universe, that's that center that is ever present, and we all have a self. So I think that Mercury meeting up with the Sun is amplifying that volume in our minds again and helping us to tune in and hear some kind of voice of hope, which is Jupiter, a voice of hope, a voice of optimism, a voice of beauty, that things can, be pleasant. And with Mars Chiron, it's definitely like this atmosphere of irritability, frustration, somatically feeling unwell. But then there's like moments and glimmers of hope and like the self that's in the background that is also starting to turn the volume up and becoming louder and louder and more present this week. So on Monday, Moonday, emotions are being felt, and we're starting to attune to that voice of self. And we're starting to get a sense that this change that's coming and what's coming up this week is not just about this week, is not just about recent changes. This is about a multi-year process. This is about a, a transition into a new life chapter that we're just starting to see, that's going to take years to unfold, especially and particularly Pluto and Uranus doing a trine from now 2026 through 2028. And so we're just getting a glimmer of that seed that's been planted for the authentic self that's trying to emerge. And I would say with Pluto at the time of this week and at the time of this new moon, we are needing to shed. We're needing to shed an old way of being, some outdated belief, some old way of doing something. With Uranus and Gemini, it's probably, it's disrupting whatever is going on in Taurus. Taurus wants stability. Taurus wants comfort. Taurus wants beauty. And Uranus and Gemini is like, nope, we got to do that fast. We got to do it quick. And beauty and comfort take time, and they slow us down, and they're inconvenient. So safety and all of that stuff, it needs to go out the window to make more space for freedom and autonomy. So I think that whatever's going on this week, is that road to freedom and autonomy. We need to shake things up when we've been playing it safe and we've been leading our lives by too much responsibility. And eventually that pendulum swings over to the other side to create more freedom, more autonomy, and more authenticity in our lives. And with Pluto involved right now, and again for the next several years, it can get dark. Our deepest fears can come up. And that can really rattle us in our bodies, like all day long in the background, us tending to that. And it's really hard to not collapse. But I do think that this week, Jupiter Sun is a supportive aspect that's going to help us not collapse. It's like a life raft. It's like a buoy. It's like a life jacket. It's like a cute little sailboat dinghy that is coming to get us and helping us sail on these rough seas. So Pisces moon is helpful for us thinking in metaphors. It's helpful for us imagining into things. And yeah, I would just say that Monday generally might be feeling a little frustrated, and that sense might go on through the week as well, just because of Mars Chiron and the moon that's going to be passing over Saturn, Mars, and Chiron. Doesn't mean don't do anything. I just keep thinking that right now, with all this stuff in Aries, is still a good time to get some physical activity in. And in fact, if we're not getting any physical activity in, we might feel restless, attention deficit, compulsive, impulsive, irritable. And so even just walking or whatever we can do to get outside and move our bodies is going to be really helpful as we approach the new moon, and to help us navigate the emotions that are coming up. I would also say watch out for intoxicants right now, just because it can be kind of a compulsive time to do them, but it might be better to feel into boredom or feel into frustration and feel into those feelings without trying to avoid or push them away, just because they're going to be right there the next day for you to work through them if you don't right now. And now's a really good opportunity and window. I mean, the doorway is through the wound. And so if we don't take that opportunity to move through the wound, it could be a largely missed opportunity right now that leads to an immense transformation of authentic self energy that we wouldn't access otherwise. So, not saying be perfect, but just saying like be mindful and take care of yourselves in all of the ways that are fun and healthy. Okay, stay tuned for more updates. Please like and subscribe, drop a comment if you'd like to hear more of something, or if you have a question, or if you'd like a reading with me, check out my website, daniellechannelsplanets.com. Thanks, bye.